Hey everybody. On this week of Everesting for Adriana, we're going to hear Chris talk about Adriana. We're going to get to know her a little better and find out why she is such an awesome person.
Switching to Adriana for a second,
Yeah.
I still remember the Saturday at 7, the event we had
Yep.
where she came in for your first date.
Yep.
Um, yeah, I remember that. And just getting to know her and just thinking this girl's incredible.
Yeah.
Uh, Gifted artist, really kind, funny person. Um, and, just becoming friends with her, being so happy for you, being so happy for both of you, being lucky enough to get a key to your apartment so we could sneak in, so we could set up candles and all of that, knowing the proposal was coming, being in your wedding. All those things were so awesome. And then to go to Disney, and my boys get to meet her, and they instantly fall in love with her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just uh, what an amazing person she is. So uh, maybe maybe you can talk a little bit about Adriana and just how you met and all that sort of stuff, and you know how
Yeah. Well,
awesome she really is.
yeah, I remember the day. I remember the day we first met in person. Of course, in 2003, online dating was not all that usual, but I'd gotten to a point where I definitely wanted to explore that, and that's how we met. It was a website called ChristianCafe.com because our relationship with God is important, and so instead of using other ones, I used a Christian Cafe, and good thing because she was on that one. And you get a free trial for anyone who hasn't done these. Of course, it's been a long time since I've looked at it, but we got a free trial. We both got a free trial, and she sent me a message very early on, and I didn't respond to it in a timely manner. And she actually had to extend her free trial and pay for a month in order to wait for my response, in order to sort of poke me back. And so she still mentions that from time to time, that she had to pay, just to get my attention, which is ridiculous because, clearly I'm an idiot. I should have paid closer attention. And within a few weeks, we met. And I remember very well that day because she came with a friend of hers, she was wearing a long sweater, sort of down to a calf length, sort of sweater jacket. And I
You know,
remember
it's
turning
weird.
to, what's
I was
that?
gonna say it's weird. I don't know why. I remember that sweater. It was gray.
Yeah.
I don't know why she came in. I just remember thinking how tall and kind of striking she was as she came through the door.
Yeah. Yeah.
So she definitely made an impression immediately.
Yes. I mean, so first of all, just beautiful. I mean, Brazilian, right? So, I mean, amazing features that come with Brazilians in general, but specifically with her. Um, yeah, I remember being very happy that I had finally reached back out and was able to meet her. And so shortly after that, she asked me out, which I thought was a good sign, and we went. It was my first time in a Starbucks, actually, and I ordered wrong. Apparently, I didn't know how to pronounce things at Starbucks, and I don't really drink coffee anyway, which is strange for a Brazilian to marry someone who doesn't drink coffee. But I drink tea, and for a couple of hours, we just drank tea and coffee and walked around a place called Mashpee Commons, and just talked for the longest time. And it was very early on that I knew I wanted to spend as much time as I could with her. Within a few months, of course, I mean, we were dating at that point, for certain. We were married within about a year and a half. But within a few months, some of my favorite things is I was traveling a lot for work back then. And I went to Australia for work. And while I was gone, she decided to, because I did give her a key into my apartment so she could go in there if she wanted to, escape her family or whatever. And she rearranged all of my furniture. And I remember coming back and all of my furniture was rearranged. And I remember thinking, I don't care. I don't care that she rearranged all my furniture. That's totally fine with me. She's here. She's in my life. She's having fun, and taking active participation. And didn't bother me one little bit that she rearranged everything in my house. And that was just kind of like a um, instantly comfortable with each other. Like, this is, there's no drama, there's no challenge, we've almost never fought ever, because there's just no reason to. So it was from the very beginning just very easy to be around. I think everyone's found that she's just great to be around. And so with your and Allison's help, and other friends as well, we proposed, and she paused longer than I would have liked, but eventually said yes. And 2005, 5505, May 5th of '05, we were married, and within a few months set off on some great adventures that eventually led us here to Florida and Disney almost 12 years ago. So I mean, in general, not only just great to be around, beautiful, amazing artist, as you mentioned. She can draw up just anything, amazing caricatures, decorations of ornaments. I mean, anything that you want. So extremely talented, extremely loving. She will never be the person who takes the last piece of anything. Like if there's a last cookie, she'll always leave it for someone. It's just those little things that really make her extremely special. And yeah.
One of my favorite Adriana memories
Mm-hmm.
from early on, we were going to see Ravi Zacharias. I don't know if you remember that. It was an early date.
I know what you're about to say.
And for everybody listening, Chris is a bit of a drama queen, always on, extremely entertaining, always entertains everybody around us.
Wow.
So this night, it was an early date. He was really on, trying to impress Adriana. And
Sure.
We're driving, and Adriana is giving directions. And Adriana coming with being from Brazil, has an amazing Brazilian accent as well.
Yes.
And we're driving, and she tells us to turn left at the satellite and turn right at the next satellite. And you looked at her and said, what, do they give directions by satellite dishes in Brazil? And I remember the look on her face when she looked at you and went, set of lights.
Yeah, you actually don't want to make her mad, but yeah, that was one of those where I'm thinking, do I need to look for like a giant satellite dish? Am I turning at a satellite dish here? How is this going to work? Nope, set of lights. Yeah, but even now, one of my favorite things is to listen to her voice. But I think she recently changed it. But I used to listen to her voicemail if I would leave her a message or whatever, because she'll say in English and in Portuguese, but in the English it says more. I mean, paraphrasing a little bit, but the important part is leave a message and I will get back at you.
One of the other awesome memories from early on in our time at Cape Cod, we went skating at Boston Commons.
Yes.
I think it was.
Yes.
And I don't think she'd ever skated before.
No.
Never been on ice.
No.
And I just remember like a hood drawn so tight and just seeing like two big brown eyes. But, I was like, come on, I'll help you. And she was just totally game, got out on the ice, wasn't embarrassed, wasn't uncomfortable, just had a great time doing it.
Yeah, it's actually taken her some time to admit some of the things that we asked her to do that she really wasn't a fan of at the time, including the Renaissance Festival or the Renaissance Fair. If you remember the Renaissance Fair, turns out she was really not game for that at all. Didn't like I don't know if you were with us last time we were at Disney or not, but we were going on Expedition Everest.
And one of our kids didn't want to go on, and she was talking to someone about, I forget what it's called, where a parent can go on and a kid, and some sort of ride swap share thing.
Right.
Anyway, she just walked up to this person and started talking in Portuguese to them.
Right.
And they went back and forth, and Adriana was like, okay, yeah, it's all figured out. Here's what you got to do. And I looked at her and I said, what's the secret gang sign? She's like, what? So he just walked up to a person and started speaking Portuguese. How did you know? And she kind of looked at me for a minute, and she's like, everybody's where they're from is on their name tag. But there was just this moment of her staring at me like, what is wrong with you?
I'll tell you, well, even now when we're on vacation, you know, she's just in tune to hearing Portuguese, and I'm pretty good at hearing it as well. But we'll be in the middle of a conversation, and she'll just say, yep, there it goes. And I know that means that somewhere around here is a Brazilian, because there are Brazilians everywhere. She says, or there's my people, or something along those lines, some kind of sign to me that tells me that somewhere around here are Brazilians. Which is great, because, you know, some of the places we travel to, and we're traveling a lot, you know, we have a plan that if we really need to, we get into trouble somewhere, and it may not be the best to come across as an American at a particular time, that our plan is that I shut up and she speaks Portuguese and I just start nodding. So that's our like danger plan if that ever happens.
One of the other awesome things, being friends with you, and of course then becoming friends with Adriana, was I got exposed to Brazilian culture.
Yeah.
And got to find out how sharing and how family oriented they were, meeting her dad and her mom, going to her house for barbecues, and meeting her brothers and cousins, and her dad out in the back cooking on an oil drum and drinking a beer and then pouring beer over it. It was awesome.
Yep, man, all they need is
yeah, so that was an awesome piece too of just our ongoing friendship and adventure, getting that exposure to other cultures.